You've stirred up quite a hornet's nest here back in India. I just want to begin by asking you about your association with the Trinamool Congress Member of Parliament, Mahua Moitra, about whom you've written in an affidavit.
Navika, do you have a particular question?
I'm just asking you, what kind of an association have you had with her? Has she been a friend of yours for long? How long have you been in touch with her? How well do you know her?
She's been a close personal friend since 2017.
Okay, and she had raised questions about your affidavit. First, she raised the question about the fact that it was on plain paper. Since then, of course, it's been notarized. She's also made some allegations about how this affidavit has been signed and written by you under duress. I want to ask you, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, have you given this affidavit under duress?
Navika, the affidavit is signed by me voluntarily, no fear, no favor. Testimony of that is that I had it notarized at the Indian consulate in Dubai.
So you're saying Mahua Moitra is wrong when she says that this was an affidavit which was drafted in the Prime Minister's office and sent to you, and you were given 20 minutes with a gun to your head to sign it?
Navika, I can only say that this was clearly drafted by my lawyers based on my statement. Since I'm in Dubai, I had it notarized in the Indian consulate in Dubai. Then I sent it to the Privilege Committee of Lok Sabha and copied to CBI and Dr. Nishikant Dubey by email.
But let me ask you about allegations, and the story begins from the fact that there is an affidavit that has been given by Mr. Jay Anand Dehadrai, who is a lawyer and a close associate of Ms. Mahua Moitra, who says that he is privy and he is witness to a few conversations between you and the Member of Parliament. In fact, in these allegations made by Jay Anand Dehadrai, in paragraph 9 of your affidavit, you say, as was he warned, she thought that the only way to attack Shri Modi is by attacking Shri Gautam Adani and his group, as both were contemporaries and they belong to the same state of Gujarat. She was helped by the fact that the rise of Gautam Adani had created jealousy and detractors among some sections of businesses, politics and media, both within and outside the country. So she expected support from these sections in her endeavor to malign and embarrass the Prime Minister by targeting Shri Adani. Mr. Hiranandani, Mr. Jay Dehadrai has accused both you and Moitra of a criminal conspiracy of asking questions in Parliament. Do you think you were under pressure to ask these questions in Parliament through Ms. Moitra?
Navika, what actually occurred is there in my affidavit. Any part that or any involvement in anything is in this matter is regrettable and an error of my judgment.
Error on your judgment. Error on your judgment of whom? The process in Parliament or the Member of Parliament and your impression of her?
I think me being entangled in this whole matter is an error of my judgment. And like I said, I've been very clear and explicit in my affidavit about what happened. And, I've got nothing more to add as far as that's concerned.
So let me ask you, on 16th of October, the Hiranandani group issued a media release stating that the charges made by Mr. Jay Anand Dehadrai, where they relate to you, are baseless. 3 days later, on 19th October, you put out your affidavit. Why did you decide to abandon your previous position, and does it really mean that the allegations of Mr. Jay Anand Dehadrai are actually true and correct?
Navika, my sworn affidavit is related to my personal involvement in the matter. It prevails in that regard. I mean, as far as that is concerned, I have nothing more to add. But the reality is that after the complaint of Advocate Dehadrai brought the matter into full limelight, it then snowballed into a political controversy with the Parliamentary Committee on Ethics formally taking up the matter. since it involved me by name directly and personally, it was incumbent upon me as a responsible citizen to bring the facts as they are before the public. Our group's a law-abiding business with a focus to build a nation. And frankly, I regret that my personal error of judgment has embarrassed my family directly and my employees and my company indirectly. But reality is, I felt that instead of a long process of investigation and denials, I must come forth with the facts upfront and cooperate fully, as is my nature, and feel relieved.
So initially you thought this would blow over, and therefore the release from your company saying there was no involvement, and then the change of heart because the matter went to a parliamentary committee. Was it fear? Was it just the desire to come out with the truth? What changed your mind?
No, I think any involvement in this is mine personally, and the statement of mine is mine in person. So I didn't, given that there was a formal inquiry that started to take place, it was incumbent on me to come forth and explain the truth and cooperate.
So, Mr. Darshan Hiranandani, is there then truth in the fact that there are cases against the Hiranandani group, your father, and therefore you thought you were in a vulnerable position, and therefore it's better to ward off any hit back, blowback, and therefore you decided to come clean?
Navika, in any allegation, any matter, we prefer to come forward to cooperate fully and come forward with the truth. And that's what I've done in this case. In business, there are many things that people allege and people do, and you have worries about. But you always come forward with the truth, and you take it forward with whatever the consequences. So that principle we have continued to follow, and I have followed in this matter as well.
So, Mr. Hiranandani, let me ask you point blank: was Ms. Moitra targeting Mr. Gautam Adani? And was it really to malign the Prime Minister, considering they were both from the same state? You've been in conversation with her, and you've been sending her questions, etc. Is it true that 41 out of the 56 questions were targeting Adani's for a reason?
Navika, I think I prefer to stick to my affidavit in this regard. But I can tell you that she felt that attacking Mr. Adani would target the Prime Minister because there was perceived proximity, as both are from the same state.
Is that all? Did you ever have conversations with her on this issue?
She was a personal friend, and this is how she felt.
Did she discuss with you that Congress leaders, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi, were working with her to target the Adani group? Did she ever tell you that?
Those details I've already given my affidavit, Navika. Nothing further for me to add on that.
So you stand by those statements in your affidavit that she did mention these names?
Navika, it's my affidavit. Of course, I stand by it.
I also want to ask you, Mr. Dehadrai claims that he's witnessed phone calls between you and Mahua Moitra, where you instructed her to raise specific questions in exchange for cash and valuables. I want to ask you very clearly, Mr. Hiranandani, did you make any payments to Ms. Mahua Moitra?
Navika, what actually occurred is there in my affidavit. And,
you have not specified. I have your affidavit in front of me on the issue of gifts and money. There isn't too much of detail, but these are mentioned in Mr. J. Anand Dehadrai's affidavit, which is why I'm asking you.
Navika, again, I'll stick to what actually occurred is there in my affidavit. And any part of mine in this whole episode is regrettable and an error of judgment.